up, you guys? It's Megan. Welcome to the very first pilot episode of the Party of Two podcast with my husband, Zach.
By being a pilot, that means there's no budget, and we're in our living room with no set.
And red microphones for some reason. We couldn't get the pink ones.
Hey, but this will blow your mind. Give us till episode 3.
Yeah,
then your mind will be
we're
blown.
actively working. We had a whole plan of stairs, and then it just kind of all really fell through and didn't come together. So we just figured the best way to start and dive into the podcast was just to start and then build the set.
Yeah, now we purchased a building, so we're gonna have the most professional set in the podcast game.
Yeah, I know, and it really took us a while to get this going because honestly, we've been working on putting this podcast together for 6-7 months now. I think we started talking about it in November 2020, so it's about August.
Yeah, so it only took us a good 9 months to kind of put this together.
And what do we have to show for it?
We're on our couch in our living room with old microphones from a podcast that I've done in the past.
we got the branding made though.
Yeah, we have a cool neon sign. Wish you could see it.
Wish you could see it, but we don't have a wall to put it up on yet. So
this is your sign to subscribe and wait for episode 3 when things really heat up.
For the neon reveal.
For the neon reveal.
Now, why did we want to start a podcast? Everyone's super excited about this, by the way. Everyone that cracked the code, because I told people to go look for the hints and everything like that. Why did we want to do this podcast? Because people are really excited about it.
Well, because we're best friends, and wherever we are, it's a party. That's why I got this shirt on.
Yeah. So,
I don't wear this shirt every other day.
Yes, he does. And he gets a lot of compliments on it, so he will not stop wearing the shirt. Maybe with y'all's help, we can get him into a different sense of style, one that doesn't scream tourist yacht owner.
See, I like to look like I own a yacht, and maybe one day I'm manifesting it now, and I will own one.
But isn't that kind of the same thing as people who wear all the head-to-toe designer logos, and they're trying to trick people into thinking they have money, but then they don't?
Yeah, but these shirts are $50, so
those are kind of expensive, actually.
Yeah, but a Gucci shirt that would look exactly like this would be $800.
Well,
it's very affordable.
Today we wanted to start off with some assumptions so that you guys could get to know me and Zach because, we've been married since 2019, been dating since 2017, and met in 2015. As you could probably tell, we move really fast. And here we are.
We've been together over 4 years.
I know.
Actually, this month, it was our 4th year anniversary. Mm-hmm. And we've known each other for basically 6 years.
Yeah, and we wanted to start, I'm looping back, I didn't take any of my medications today, so we're looping back. We're going backwards. We wanted to do the podcast because we feel like Zach and I have a really great chemistry together. We bounce off of each other really well. That's kind of how we fell in love from working together.
I'm looking at Tyson. He shook his head as soon as I moved my hand with the microphone. He's like, don't look at me.
You're not supposed to look at Tyson.
Okay, Tyson's
people aren't
over
even
here.
supposed to know Tyson's here. It's a party of 2, not party of 3.
That's right.
Peach, it's not a party of 4. We're in our living room. Our ice maker is making machine. Our dog is at the door, and Tyson's on our couch. What more could you ask? We're doing this podcast because we have a great chemistry. We bounce off of each other really well, and now Zach is not so much in the YouTube eye anymore, so we just thought it'd be a really great opportunity to kind of work together again and entertain together again because we love doing that.
And just an extra hour of the week to hang out.
Yeah, because we love each other like married people do. Okay, so do you want to start with the first assumption?
Yeah, I'm going in blind.
I have a list here. So the first assumption, this is a quick one, and I get asked this a lot, and this isn't even a part of the podcast or anything, but an assumption that I am a part of the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay.
So that's the first assumption, and I just want to say I am an ally of the LGBTQ plus community. But that's about it. Zach is also an ally.
I'm also an ally.
Yeah, I thought we could get that assumption out of the way real quick because everyone always asks me because, they always say that every girl is a little bit gay, right? Unfortunately, not me. So just an ally at this point.
I didn't know people assume that about us. I know no one assumes that about me because I'm just
look at him.
looking.
Look at him with the,
so
with
vanilla.
The fashion.
But, I do own 3 pairs of shorts.
Uh-huh.
One's khaki. One is seafoam green.
Yes.
And then I do have a blue pair.
The cyan ones are really fun.
See?
Yeah.
I like to cook it up, We're very close with her friend Casey, and he loves my fashion. Last time you grilled me for that Aztec shirt.
This is getting too I have a gay friend.
Well, I do. And we're best friends. And Megan was the Aztec shirt is horrible. And Casey who's got some type of art degree or something.
He said when the Aztec shirt that you have, he has an Aztec shirt. It's neon.
It's beautiful.
It's got Aztec print. So it's doing everything that you would expect to see in a frat house in probably 2014. He said it was okay in a vacuum, but when compared to his other clothing options, that it was not his go-to option. It was not
go-to, but wearable. When Megan was roasting me for even buying it, but it
I don't
still
know
looks
why
good.
you bought it.
And when I wear it, I get compliments. I
You
get
never wear
most
it.
compliments on this.
It's never left the house, that one.
I wore it just 3 days ago.
The next assumption, Zach, is were you popular in high school?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
No, I wouldn't say I was popular. The first 2.5 to 3 years, I had quite a bit of acne, which made me quite shy, and I had my core group of friends. But then kind of going into my junior summer, going into senior year, I lost all that acne in those last 2 months of junior year.
And then you were a chick magnet.
I was a chick magnet. I played basketball. I was on the basketball team. I'd say I had a good amount of friends, but then senior year is when I blossomed. I bloomed.
Yeah.
I stopped caring about what people thought too, which helped.
One of the lucky ones, I would say. I was thinking about it because I knew that these assumptions were coming up, and people, I think that they assumed that I was really outgoing and kind of nice in high school. I was not. I was very much hardened by a lot of bullying, and I just would shut a lot of people out, and I did not make friends very easily. I also am one to speak my mind a lot. Fun fact, I started my YouTube channel to speak my mind and rant about things. People don't like that all the time because there's a difference between being Dick and being Frank, two different people. But I think that most people were nice to me in a patronizing way. Kind of like the kid that draws in their notebook. It's oh, what are you working on? But it's patronizing. It's I'm only wanting to be nice to this person so that I look like I'm a good person. But it's not actually that they care or anything. And I hope that nobody from my high school sees this and they don't interpret it that way, because that's how I interpreted it. Because I would hate for somebody to be that wasn't true at all. But I think it was very true.
I can barely get over because I just glanced at Tyson and he's sitting there gap mouth, just heavy breathing.
Tyson, I think, just shuts off when I talk.
Make sure the cat can come in. She was gonna so by opening up your mouth, that was okay.
I was not popular in high school at all. I think it definitely takes a lot.
You had a lot of friends, I'd say, though.
I had a group of friends, and they were all really mean to each other and mean to me. And then in my junior and senior year, I lost all of my friends because, as you remember, the very first love of my life cheated on me with my best friend. And then we dated up a whole 3 months, so it was a really big deal. I knew him for a total of 5 months, 6 months. It was a big deal. And he cheated on me with my best friend, and then I lost all my friends in that debacle. Very hurtful, but I think it just takes a while for you to grow into who you want to be. But I do believe that everybody reverts back to who they were in junior high.
I kind of lost all my original friends in senior year because I started dating somebody that no one really got along with. But then I also made different friends.
Yeah. You
went on a different life path.
Yeah, because you go on a different life path. I was in high school, and I still have a couple of my friends from high school that are around here and there, but I made another handful of friends in college, and then those friends I don't really talk to much except for my friend Victoria. And then now I just have coworkers as friends. But I feel like my personality, when I wasn't trying to be somebody I wasn't in college, has reverted back to listening to the music I like and being the person I was.
The lesson here is you don't have to be popular to get YouTube famous.
Don't say that. That's so what's the word I'm looking for? That's just so we're
But
famous.
Isn't it ironic if you weren't popular in high school and no one really liked you, that now millions of people like you?
Yeah, and honestly, I really like the opportunity to be able to inspire people and put a smile on people's faces, because I know whenever I was in the 5th grade, I could have really used that. YouTube had just kind of started, so you didn't get so much attached to YouTubers at that point. And I just feel when I was that age, I really was not having a fun time. And the person who bullied me the most, she is off in our hometown somewhere on drugs, a lot of drugs.
Well, and the thing is every famous YouTuber, I've met, they all grew up nerdy or kind of very non-social or stuck up in their bedroom or something. And now look where they are. They're all driving little Lambos. They have their Louis Vuitton and Gucci. And
Not me. I would love a Lamborghini. But yeah, no, I agree with you, because I feel a lot of YouTubers, they just sit in their room all day, and that's kind of how things started. You start by talking to a camera. You start with your own career goals and uploading every day. And, that's your focus. Your focus is not going out and partying. I was in a sorority. I didn't go to one fraternity party. Granted, I wasn't invited to one fraternity party, but I didn't go. So.
But if you were invited, you would have went?
No, I don't think my boyfriend at the time would have let me. So, there was a lot of things in the way, but they all made me who I am today. And I wouldn't have taken back any of it, like, at all. Kind of worked out how it was supposed to, because I'm really happy now. So.
Yeah, same. Like, I think about it all the time. Like, if I would have kept that same core group of friends, maybe I'd still be back in Wisconsin hunting, fishing, loving every day. But I wouldn't have got all the experiences I had, and grown more into tech.
And you've had so many experiences. There's a lot of people who just think, like, whenever you had your Corvette, like, oh, that's daddy's money. Mm-hmm. Like, that is, all gifted to you. But, like, you have been working since you were 15 or 14 even. Yeah. Like, a
and
little,
younger even, like, on my grandparents' farm. But
yeah, like, so you had that. But you went out and you got your first, like, job at, like, a small
I had to get a
grocery
worker's
store.
permit, so I had to go to, like, the high school, apply so I could get a job because I was that young. Mm-hmm. And then the city, like, approved that I could, and then I started washing dishes.
Yeah, like, and you so I think Zach is, like, the definition of self-made because, like, you had a paper route.
I had a paper route that was at 12. I worked for the city delivering papers every Monday because our city only did one newspaper a week.
At 12? Who's working at 12?
Yeah, I'd get off of school. I'd have to go pick up all the loose papers, and then you'd have to roll them, put them in little bags, and then deliver them all on your bike.
Then you worked at a grocery store. He was a McDonald's grill master. He worked at a paper mill doing toilet paper work.
Yeah, I was making toilet paper, not doing toilet paper. Then I worked at another mill where I was a millwright before I became YouTube Cloudy.
Like, he got his first $800 check, and then he was like, I'm famous. I'm moving to LA.
Basically.
Yeah. So, like, you didn't grow up rich. You didn't grow up, like, with, and, like, love and care from your parents, but not, like, financial help from your parents.
No, yeah. Like, they would have if they could, but they couldn't, basically.
Yeah. Just because you're in a small town in Wisconsin, there's not a ton of opportunity there, I think. But, yeah, so I think that that's all very much interesting because there's so many people who look at you and think that, like, you didn't possibly do that all yourself, but you just did. Like, everything that you've ever tried to do, you've been wildly successful at.
Thanks, babe. Wow, you just, like, you too. Like,
no,
we're just each other.
Thank you so much for the love and assistance from my parents to carry me all the way through college that allowed me to relax and breathe while I made YouTube work.
But on the assumption we were both a little nerdy.
Yeah.
And excluded.
Are we looping back to that?
Yeah.
I want to tell people how we met because a lot of people don't really know how we met or kind of our story, how we started dating. Because I kind of started taking off on YouTube whenever we were already together. So not a lot of people know about, like, our exes or, like, what happened for us to, like, come together and be together. And the people that did know us at the time thought that it was just, like, foul play. People thought that, like, the worst things about us. Do you remember that? I know you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I lived it. I recall.
You were there.
Yes.
I was there too. So Zach and I, we met at a gaming convention in Galveston, Texas in 2015. I was a student in school. I probably had 200 subscribers at the time, maybe 100, not even 1,000. And Zach had 1 million.
I was getting close. I think I was like 800,000 or something, 780.
Yeah.
Because when I started doing role plays in Minecraft, that's when I blew up, and I already knew you for like a couple of months.
I also don't think that a lot of my audience knows that you were really big on YouTube before I even, like, had a YouTube channel.
I did YouTube gaming before it was cool. Like, I was doing YouTube gaming in 2010, back when you couldn't even make money doing game videos because they would all get, like, copyright claimed, essentially.
Yeah, by developers.
Yep. So then, like, I was able to go out to Los Angeles, and I worked for Machinima for a bit, and I was with all of the OG gamers like C Nanners and Sky Does Minecraft. Most people probably don't know who any of these people are anymore. But that's what's crazy. Like, I did over 1 billion views across my channels, and now it's basically like this next generation of people that watch you would never know who I was.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because I did an interview for my college newspaper yesterday, and she asked me to elaborate on Zach, my husband, and I mentioned his 2 channels, Aviator Gaming and Aviator Games, and she was just like, oh my gosh, I used to watch Aviator Games all the time. Like, I distinctly remember watching, they were Sims videos, right? And I was like, yeah, they were Sims videos. Anyway,
Yeah.
we met 2015 at a gaming convention in Galveston. I didn't want to go because I didn't feel like I was good enough to go. My parents had to convince me really, really hard to go because I was like, oh, they didn't possibly want me there. This is like a pity invite. I don't want to go. Like, I feel so out of place. I can't stand up next to all these people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Like, that didn't really feel like something I could do. And Zach, you didn't want to go for different reasons.
I was already a YouTuber for like 5 years at this point. So when it's like, oh yeah, like I was living in Los Angeles, it's like fly to Texas to go to some small convention that was run by just some random guy that I never even met. And I was like, I'd rather stay in LA and just do me, but they offered me money, so I came.
Okay, so we did like a panel together. We did 2 panels together. One was, I don't remember exactly what it was about, but
like growing your brand or something.
That was the second panel we did together. The first one, I'm not really sure what it was about, but Zach did wear his sunglasses inside. He had his aviator shades on. And it was dark. It was a conventional with like neon lights. Like
yeah.
it wasn't lit. It was a dark room, and he was wearing his sunglasses. And
because I was aviator gaming, so I was wearing aviators.
No, it was on purpose. You thought you were too cool to be there.
So do you think I thought I was too cool?
Yeah.
Okay, probably.
Yeah,
honestly,
way too cool to be there. And my dad, like, so Zach is talking. He's like, yeah, in LA, we got like 1,000 up, 1,000 down internet. Boo, 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 boo. And my dad was like, oh, Mr. Hollywood over there's got 1,000 up, 1,000 down. I said, yeah, I know. That's crazy. I didn't even know something like that existed. Granted, Zach and I have never had a conversation at this point. And then we go. And we go to a secondary panel, Growing Your Brand, and we just kind of talk. And you mentioned doing The Sims, like creating Sims videos, and I also mentioned, like, oh, I also do The Sims, so watch out, I'm coming for your brand. And it was a joke.
Oh, fat chance.
Yeah, I was making a joke because obviously I had like nothing, and Zach had a lot, and I didn't know how much Zach had whenever I was like making those jokes. But then after that, he must have saw something in my voice because Zach reached out to have me voice act for him for some of his Minecraft role plays. So if you're like an OG, you'll know like Minecraft School. I was Bree. I played like his cheerleader girlfriend in some of the scenes.
That was like my biggest series of all time, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, and that's kind of where it all started. He was like, hey, can you do these lines? I was like, yeah, sure. He said I was very nice, efficient, fast, friendly, and the lines were good, right?
Yeah, they were great. I would send them through and I would get like the lines right away. And that was like, because I was making videos every day. It was about speed.
I've always prided myself on being reliable. So I think that really spoke to Zach at the time. And eventually he just like was like, hey, do you want to be in my Newlywed series? It's a live thing. So you have to come and you have to role play in this scene. And I said no at first because I was like, hey, I'm a college student. I don't want to mess with your schedule. I understand that this is a career for you, but I don't want to make a commitment if I'm not able to always be there. So I rejected it the first time. I think I just realized my hair is like around my necklace. And then a couple weeks later, he asked me again, right?
Yeah. I remember asking you again, and I was like, we could always record a couple at a time or something. Like, I can work around your schedule, essentially.
And I don't know if it was so much that, but I was just like, okay, well, fine. Like, you were like being
I think you were working at like GameStop or something, a little bit part-time.
I was working at K-Spade at that time. So I was working at K-Spade doing sorority and also college and while trying to do my own YouTube channel all at once. So I would literally be in class until 2:50 because all the college classes would end on like the 50. So you would have 10 minutes to get to your next class across a campus that's like 2 miles big. Like, it was ridiculous. So 2:50, I would put my backpack on and I would run home to my dorm. I would run because I had to be at a Newlyweds recording at 3 p.m. So I was like all sweaty and winded and I'd be like, I'm here. And eventually Zach started asking me to come to more things. And then he started asking like if I wanted to hang out with him and his friends and his brother, Tyson.
Well, because for the longest we would just record and then she would leave. And I'm like, you know, you could always stick around and we could play games and get to know each other more.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I just, I didn't feel super comfortable because I felt so insecure. Like, I was like, oh, I'm so I'm so lucky to be graced with these people's time. I have to get out of here. I don't want to be in the way. I've done my job and now I have to go because I don't want to like hover or stick around or be in the way, or like if they want to talk about things they want to talk about, like I don't want to be like, oh, we can't talk about that because Megan's here. So I like would always leave, but I'm glad I didn't. And because we would start hanging out and talking till like 4 a.m.
And then you came into town. I was living in Los Angeles. She came to Los Angeles to go to E3, which is a convention.
Zach picked me up from the airport. It was an hour away.
Yeah, so I picked you up from the airport.
Yeah.
And then
was
when we
very
were
nice.
driving somewhere, was it either to your hotel or to the convention?
It was really nice. And for me, I felt really, really special that Zach drove an hour away because we were in a TeamSpeak call and his friend Bert was like, hey, bro, will you pick me up from the airport? And Zach was like, no. But
I've been there, done that with Bert 100 times. He can Uber.
He came to pick me up. So I felt really, really special. I got to ride in the Z06, or it was just
Yeah, it was a
Stingray.
Z06.
In the Z06, it was white. I remember pulling up. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm so fancy. And then, yeah, go on.
I sold my Lamborghini for that car.
You didn't fit in your Lamborghini.
I didn't fit in the Lamborghini. But yeah, so I pick her up and then I was talking about like, oh yeah, I'm renting a house right now. I would love to own a house because I was doing really well on YouTube. And I was like, but in California, it's really, really expensive. And I said like, oh, I want like a movie theater.
You were
in my
like,
house.
oh,
I
I
want
want
a
to. You were like,
pool."
I want to settle down,
Yeah.
maybe Dallas. And I was like, oh yeah, no, you don't want to go to Dallas. Do you want to go to insert our suburb name here?
Yeah.
And I was like, so what's in your dream house? You
Yeah.
know? And you told me, and I found it on Zillow like that second while
Yeah,
we were in the car.
She found this house that we're in right now.
This house.
And it was listed for one day, so I called the listing agent. I'm like, hey, like, can I come see this house or something sometime this next week? And she's like, well, we're only taking offers on the house today, and that's it. So, like, you either have to put in an offer or you're not going to own the house because someone else is going to get it.
Yeah.
So without seeing it, I just made an offer.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning the bid by like $10,000 or something. It was really, really close.
And without telling his wife.
And without telling my wife at the time. So I won this house, and we get like 5 days to come look at it, make sure it's not like burnt down or something.
Yeah.
And so we fly down here, see the house. It's beautiful. And then we moved to Texas within like a couple of weeks. It was fast.
Yeah, him and his wife. And then, so like, I think that's really interesting. And I wanted to touch on our exes real quick because a lot of people like, they always thought something really like some foul play happened, and we never really got the chance to like explain like really how it went. I've told my friends, and I'm really open with this story because I think it's really cute and special. So basically, Zach was with his ex for 10 years.
Yeah, I was with her for like 8 years, basically, going on 9. But basically, we met each other in high school, and we lived in a really, really small town, and everything happened really fast for me. Once I graduated high school, within 2 years, I was living in LA. So we went on this huge journey together to like Los Angeles, Seattle, back to LA, and then here to Texas. So there was like no time to really get to know anyone else and even make sure we were the right person for each other.
You guys fought a lot. You were very incompatible people. And a lot of people just thought so negatively about me because I was friends with her, and you know, we're still cool. Like, she'll message me on Facebook every once in a while. But yeah, you guys just weren't a fit for each other.
No.
And that's what it is. You guys were high school sweethearts. You were so busy with your career, and she was also
Yeah,
busy.
I worked like 16 hours every day. We had an office in LA, and we would get there at like 10 in the morning. And I wouldn't be driving home till like 4 a.m.
Yeah, like, so it just really wasn't so much worth like realizing like, hey, I don't know if I'm happy with this person, and I don't know if she's happy with me.
Yeah, it seemed like more of a hassle to break everything up and
Yeah,
like,
because it's what
separate
you know.
everything.
It's how
Yeah.
your life has been going for so long. It's what you know. So, and my ex, I was with him for 5 years. Also another situation where you're with somebody in high school, and that's what you think your world is. That's like what you know. It's your comfort zone, and you don't want to leave. But also, we weren't a fit for each other. We had different love languages. We're not on the same page with communication. And it got like really messy at points. But basically, Zach and I got really close. We worked together. We got along really great. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my best friend. Like, this is somebody.
Yeah, we'd like live stream together,
Yeah.
play games together, hang out all the time.
And everybody would speculate that we were like dating, but like we weren't, because you were married and I had a boyfriend. So like, and it was all very, very innocent, and you know, it was all fun. We would go places together because I lived probably about 5 minutes from this house whenever I was in college. So our big group of friends would go and hang out. So basically, one day Zach shoots me a Skype message like, "Hey, move the recording session. We're getting a divorce. Like, him and his wife are getting a divorce." I was like, "Oh, what?" Like, I was so like shell shocked by it. Like, I like felt like throwing up because I was so confused, because it just seemed like it was all roses.
I was thinking about it for a while, and I was just like, like I wanted to do it for years almost, but it was
Yeah.
that situation like, she lives across the country with me. Her family's still back in Wisconsin. This is so hard to do. But then her brother was spending a few weeks here in our house because he was working down here. And me and Haley, it was like summer. We were fighting. I think it was like May or something. We were like fighting often. And I was working out. I came home from working out and she was giving me a hard time about something. So I was like, you know what? I want a divorce. It's over.
This makes me feel so bad because Zach and I, like I said, we were really close friends. So we hadn't gotten a time to like catch up and talk for a while. So he sent me a Skype message, like things I want to talk about, like things we need to catch up on. And like, it was like this. And one of the items on the list was like Haley, like his wife. And when I saw that, I was like, huh? Basically, we never got to talk. Like that, like never came up in our conversation. And then, yeah, he like hits me up like, we're getting a divorce. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So yeah, she found the list. She went through his computer. She found the Skype message. And she was like, what do you have to talk to Megan about me? And then she's like, what, do you want a divorce? And she ran, came downstairs. I have a very good memory. She came downstairs. And you followed her and you're like, yeah, I do want a divorce.
I said that upstairs, then she ran downstairs and I'm like, I could let her sit down there alone and then she'll think this is a fight and it'll blow over.
Yeah.
Or I could go down there and reaffirm that, yes, this is real, not just a fight.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. Like,
And you, like at this time, like I didn't know anything. I was completely innocent, and I have to assure you guys, I was completely ignorant to anything. Like I was living my best life with my boyfriend, and I would say things like, "Isn't it funny that we always end up with the people that we like don't get along with at all?" Like I would say dumb things like that.
That we have like nothing in common with.
No, we have like nothing in common with. Isn't that weird? Or like, oh, my boyfriend doesn't tell me he loves me. He tells everyone else that he loves them, but like I'll be like, "Oh, thank you, I love you too," and he'll be like, "Oh, I wasn't talking to you," and Zach will be like, "That's weird," and I was like, "Oh, that's just kind of what I know." So you followed her downstairs. You pursued a divorce. You told me about it. I was like, oh my God, love isn't real. I was really upset by their divorce. It was like watching one of my favorite bands break up. I was upset by it. She would say these weird things to me too. Like, I guess I always had a feeling like, I'd be like, yeah, Zach is so nice. He always like gives you the nicest compliments. And she'd be like, he's kind of a jerk all the time to me. And I was like, what? So she would just say stuff like that. And they were just very incompatible. But, divorce, blah 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 blah. She's moving out. Oh my God, her brother's in town. This is so awkward. And then eventually she got her stuff and she moved out. And then Zach started going on match dates. Actually, no, you didn't go on any match dates. You were just matching people.
Yeah.
Until one night we were supposed to live stream together, and he said, "Hey, I can't come. I'm going out on a date." I was like, it's 10 p.m. What do you mean you're going out on a date? Like,
she hit me up at like 9:30. Like, yeah, you want to come out to Dallas?
I was like, it's late. What do you mean you're going on a date? And then he was like, I'm just going on a date. And I was really upset by it, but not because I was like, oh, that should be me on the date. Like, that didn't cross my mind at all. But I was really sad. I was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to hang out with my best friend tonight. And now he's going on a date with this girl at 10 p.m. And what if this is his new girlfriend? And what if his new girlfriend doesn't want me around? What if his new girlfriend doesn't want me to be friends with Zach? What if his new girlfriend doesn't like his career and then I can't hang out with Zach anymore? That was really upsetting to me. So I laid on the floor of my bedroom and I cried for like hours, and I watched the whole season 1 of Riverdale. I had a computer, I had a TV, but instead I decided to lay on the floor with my phone like this and watch the whole first season of Riverdale on my floor crying. All whilst my boyfriend is sitting in the next room playing Call of Duty.
Not even caring or checking.
Kind of when I was finished, like feeling so sad about it, I was like, why do I feel this way? Why do I care so much? Dig deep, Megan. I know you can figure it out. I'm sure it's going to be fine. And I was like, wait, why don't I care about my boyfriend? Like, why do I not want to hang out with my boyfriend? Why am I not sitting in there? Why would I rather sit with Zach instead of with my boyfriend? Like, it all hit me at once, and I was like, oh, wait. Is this what love is? That's awkward. Granted, a day before this, it was July 3rd or July 1st. I was at a wedding, and I asked my ex if he wanted to dance with me, and he said no. And then I watched the couple do their first dance, and I couldn't picture myself dancing with my ex. That was a big thing for me too. I couldn't. But I had like this weird intrusive thought that I would be dancing with Zach. So that was kind of my first like
It was in the subconscious.
It was in the subconscious. It was intrusive. I was like, oh, don't go there. That's weird. And then a couple days after I'm crying on the floor. So July 1st, wedding incident. July 2nd or 3rd?
Probably 2nd, because then on the 3rd, we were at the baseball game, I think.
Zach went on his date on the 2nd. On the 3rd, the next day, we were supposed to go to a baseball game together. Zach and I were touching elbows in the seats. I was like, this is weird. I felt like a junior high kid. Like, oh my gosh, we're touching elbows.
That's how I felt too.
And then like he was texting this girl the whole baseball game, like, this is so boring. I want to leave. I can't wait to get out of here. I want to call you after this. Blah 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 blah.
Well, because she was saying like, oh, I really wish I could have came, or I wish you were here.
She was a stage 5 clinger.
I was trying to reaffirm her that it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, you're not missing anything. This is boring.
After y'all's first date, no, you were not. You were trying to make me jealous, and you said it.
I was reaffirming too.
So after their first date, she like was obsessed with Zach. And like, honestly, who isn't? So she was obsessed with Zach. She was like, oh, can I come over? Can I come to your 4th of July barbecue? Can I come to this? Can I come to that? Oh my gosh, can you call me? Do you want to hang out tonight? Like all in the span of like 12 hours. Like she was a stage 5 clinger. Like she was very clingy. And in my head, because Zach and I are working out at the gym in the morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do something about this. If I like Zach, I have to straighten this out right now because I have a boyfriend. Zach is now dating the stage 5 clinger, and this is about to get really messy really fast.
Yeah, the whole morning at the gym, she was texting me too.
I know. I was like, go away. She was obsessed with him. Oh my gosh. She like, you guys stayed up on a rooftop and talked until 4 a.m.
She had a penthouse in Dallas.
Yeah, so she was rich too. I had nothing. So I was feeling very threatened. I was like, So then July 3rd rolls around, midday. I'm like talking to Zach. I'm like, I really have to talk to you about something. Like, I just really have to talk to you. And he's like, can we do it over TeamSpeak? And I was like, fine, I guess we could do it over TeamSpeak. And then he like kind of took that signal like, no, I don't want to talk about it over TeamSpeak. So he comes.
Yeah, because why I asked about TeamSpeak is like my ex-wife at the time came to the house and was cleaning me out of house and home, like taking all of our stuff.
She took everything. She took the hairdryer. She took all the magnets on the fridge.
She took like the bed.
She took all like the pettiest stuff.
Yeah, so it's like, I had her in the house actively with tons of boxes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have to monitor this. Otherwise.
She took everything anyway.
Yeah, she took quite a bit, so.
She took, and it's not like she took like all of your money, but it's like she took all the like the efficient things. Like for months, we'd be like, oh, let's get a pot holder so we can make pasta. Oh, all the pot holders are gone. Like, so it would just be like little things. Yeah. I swear it's on purpose. She would have stole the batteries out of all the remotes too. I swear. She's really great. Again, she's really nice.
Changed a lot.
She's changed a lot since she was. I think everybody was unhappy and they didn't quite realize it at the time until things got better. Yeah. So where was I? Oh, so I invite Zach over. He comes over. My ex is at work, and I tell Zach, I'm like, this is going to sound really weird, but I'm having a really hard time, and I just want to really communicate with you about how I'm feeling. You're my best friend. I get along with you so well. I look forward to talking to you. I make up reasons to talk to you, and I could hang out with you all night. And I don't really feel that way when I'm with my ex, like my boyfriend. And sometimes it just really makes me feel like I might be in love with you, I said to him. And what'd you say? You were like,
I stopped you before you could say I'm in love with you. And I said, I love you. I think I said it.
We probably just said it at the same time.
Yeah, like I love you too, or whatever. So
I think
like,
we said it at the same time.
Yeah, we both interjected at the same time. We both said we had these feelings for each other. Because like I liked Megan for a while, but also she had a boyfriend, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna go on dates with other people, I guess.
He would drop these hints though. He would text me and be like, yeah, I know who my dream girl is, and I know where she is, and unfortunately I'll just never be able to be with her.
Tyson's like cringing over there.
He would say that stuff. Like he was like, well, I have nothing to lose. I'll drop these hints and see what happens.
Yeah, because in my mind it's like, if anything, she'll be like, stop it, I don't like you.
I subconsciously liked him. I didn't realize it was so strong. So yeah, imagine and then the next day I like left my relationship. This did not go on for a long time. The next day I was crying for hours and hours and hours because I was like, oh, now I have to end my 5 years of relationship. I went home to my dad. I was like, Daddy, I have to break up with my boyfriend. And he was kind of like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, your parents didn't like him very much.
They didn't like him very much. He didn't give much reasons for them to like him, unfortunately. So, yeah, like that didn't, like, it's not like we were sneaking around behind anybody's back, but I felt like I wanted to communicate with my best friend about a relationship I felt was over for like a couple years at that point. And my ex also did do a lot of things to hurt me, a lot of lying. He's grown up a lot, I think, I hope. And I hope he's happy. But yeah, like, it just was like, I felt comfortable talking to you. So yeah. I immediately called you, and looking back, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just like broke up with my boyfriend. So that's my biggest skill, is like the day before I broke up with him, or 2 days, I told you that I loved you. Yeah. And if that's cheating, I'm sorry, but it was 2 days, and I
wouldn't say it's cheating. You just told me your feelings. And then, yeah.
It wasn't intentional. We didn't even hold hands.
We didn't like hang out or anything like that.
Yeah, we didn't even hold hands, like, because after I broke up with my boyfriend, we went to Austin together for a convention, and you wanted to hold hands, and I didn't want to hold hands because I had the feeling my boyfriend wasn't like understanding.
Still didn't understand fully.
You didn't fully understand that like it wasn't working out anymore. So we didn't even hold hands because that was so uncomfortable to me. But everything works out for a reason. We immediately moved in together.
Basically within 3 weeks.
A week or two, because basically I had an apartment down the street. I had a puppy, Peach, and
your apartment's lease was like almost up.
It was about to end in like a month whenever we started dating, and we already just really knew each other really well because we would hang out for so long. And what was really great about me and Zach's relationship is I knew him when he wasn't putting on a mask. Like he would, I knew exactly who he was from the years of talking to him and getting to know him and seeing how he treated other people and interacted with other people. It doesn't have much of the same facade. Like, I'm going into trying to date this person on Tinder, and I'm going to talk to them, and they're going to give me the best version of themselves.
Until you move in or something.
So I already knew him, and I was like, worst thing that happens is this doesn't work out and I just move out. But my lease is expiring. I was staying the night, a couple of nights, and then I was just like, why don't we just move in together? I could just live here. I don't even think there was like a question pop like, do you want to move in together? I think it was just like, I just didn't leave.
Well, like, you were thinking about renewing your lease or finding another apartment. And I'm like, how about instead of doing that, you just move in here?
Yeah, I don't even remember if it was that formal.
Yeah, I told you, like, don't, like, you should just live here.
Yeah, probably.
Because you were already over, like, all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the point? Because there was never a night where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to spend a few weeks at my apartment.
No,
and I never went over to your apartment either.
I would go work. So. I would work on my computer because that's where my computer was, and then I would come home. Zach and Tyson had to move my computer from my apartment.
Yeah, like she was at school and we had to move all that. Yeah,
it was disgusting. They said I was like, yeah, I'm a disgusting person. I'm so bad about keeping things clean. So
it was very dirty.
Just a lot of crumbs, maybe.
And that's the story about how we fell in love and got together.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I missed some parts, but honestly, it's really deep. Like, our exes, after we like kind of broke up with them, they went and then they got together. And they were together for a short time. It was like some sort of revenge relationship, but it didn't work out with them.
No, because we were over that part of our lives and already on to the next step. And then we were engaged within like a year, like less than a year. And then married.
8 months we got engaged.
Yeah, married about a year after that. Like exactly, almost basically in May. Yeah. And then we've been married for over 2 years already.
And I know there's a lot of people that think like, oh, well, whenever you know, you know. And I think that, like, I thought that was kind of a stupid saying until, like, it happened to me. You just, whenever you know, you know. Like, I just didn't think that was real. But I think after Zach and I had such negative relationships, and our past relationships, they had a lot of overlap. So we could relate to a lot of the things that happened in them because we were both on the same edge of this bad situation. It just was like, I knew all the red flags that I wanted to avoid, and Zach didn't have any of them. And it was great.
And Megan, like she loved video games. We were already such close friends. So it's like definitely like marrying your best friend type of situation where it's like every single night, that if you guys want to do something together, you're both going to enjoy it because you both enjoy video games. You both enjoy movies. You both enjoy these similar things. So it makes like vacationing, you always want to go to the same place. Like it's never like, oh, well, this time we'll do this and then next time we'll do my thing. It's always like.
And I would say Zach and I are on the same page about 99.5% of the time. And if we're ever not on the same page, it's a tone issue. Like it's like something was said in a way that we're arguing for the same page, but we're. Yeah. But
it's just a misunderstanding
just being
basically.
In different ways. Like we've been together since 2017 dating, and I don't think we've ever had a big fight, like something that we just could not see eye to eye on, something we didn't agree on. And I think that's really great. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. It's A+.
The next assumption is you dropped out of school for your career. So I'll let you start with that one.
I dropped out. Basically, I graduated high school.
Of college.
Yeah.
I don't know if they meant high school or college.
No, I think it's college. But so I dropped out. I mean, I graduated high school, and then I didn't go to college right away. Like, I kind of like started working and stuff. And then I think I got like laid off, and I was like, I'm gonna go to college and like better myself. Like, I don't know if I want to do what I'm doing forever. And at the same time, I was doing YouTube. So I went to college to like do digital media stuff, which is basically YouTube. Or like edit movies or TV shows, but that's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's not, but
yeah. But I went to like school for like half a semester, and I was like learning things like how to turn on an iMac, how to like open up Final Cut Pro, and just like how to like introduction to Mac.
Yeah, your brother or your stepbrother also had that experience, and then he dropped out too.
Yeah, like I basically realized like, oh my God, like this is all pointless. It's all stuff I know. So I just dropped out, and then basically a few months later I was moving to Los Angeles, like pursuing YouTube and doing all of that. So like it wasn't something I really needed.
Yeah, so Zach, he doesn't have a college education, and he doesn't need one because he, like I was kind of going on, like I could gas him up all day. He just makes whatever he wants to happen. Even if he studies it for hours on his computer, because there is so much information on the internet. I will never be a person that says you need a degree to be successful. No. But having a degree does give you some fundamentals to start with, which is like I have a college degree in graphic design with a minor in business.
So you're fully educated. You got a 4-year degree.
Yeah. And
then you got your minor even in something else.
Yeah, minor in business communications. And I still can't end an email without putting exclamation marks all over the place. So, but yeah, so with my experience, I really liked going to school. And if somebody were to give me the opportunity to go back to school, I would. But for like art history, like, because I like learning and I like kind of being a part of that, even though it can get a little bit stressful. I think if the stakes were removed and I had unlimited money, and like if I failed or if I like if it wasn't like, oh, you need to get a job after this, I think it's a lot less stressful because you just get to go learn, right? But they don't really allow you to do that.
I remember thinking if there was one thing I could go to school for, it would be like to be
sports advertising.
Like basically sports marketing, so I could be an agent of like the athletes. So like, oh, I like see a really promising college senior. He's a great quarterback. I know he's going round 1. I snatch him up and I take him through his whole 25-year career. Like I always thought that would be the best, and you're managing like 5 major athletes or something like that. Yeah,
and honestly, you could still probably do that after everything if you're done.
I got so much going on now.
Well, I know, but like eventually, if you ever wanted to, you could.
You know, who knows?
Because I just believe in you so much. I just believe you could.
Who knows where life will take me? A Wonderworks CEO turned Brett Favre's agent.
Yeah, so I finished school. It was very hard, a lot of tears. I got really depressed during college, even though I liked it. So it was very like conflicting. My dad really, really wanted to put me and my sister through college. It was like his one thing that I think would make him feel like a complete, like I did that. I am the father that did that. So he really wanted to do that. So for my dad, I stayed in school because it was very important to him. I graduated, but I did have to drop out of my sorority. So for those of you who do not know, I am a Zeta Tau Alpha alumni, which I am an alumni, even though I did just say I dropped, because a couple years after I dropped, I spent the $4,000 in missed dues to get the alumni status. I was poor at the time. This was very, very important to me. And I don't want to say it was a waste of money because I feel complete knowing I finished that. But yeah, I couldn't finish it while in college. And so many of the girls had an issue with my career. Like I was talking to Victoria yesterday, and she just did an interview for our old college newspaper. And she said, I couldn't much think about like any struggles that you overcame like with the sorority besides like Mariah hating your Instagram. And I was like, I didn't even know Mariah had a problem with my Instagram, but I was always getting like standards. Standards is like where they like make you take something down because it is not good for the sorority. I got one thing taken down because somebody said something mean to me. Like they wrote out like a whole paragraph, and I just I responded like, at least I'm not an ugly rat. And I got I got in trouble for that. I had a lot more opinions back then. I was not afraid to be like, respond to a big paragraph of hate, like, well, at least I'm not an ugly rat.
I like you still like respond to a whole bunch of hate and stuff.
Well, because it's comical sometimes.
Right
Literally, I got a message yesterday from some kid, and it was like, it's obvious she's had a nose job. It's like, yeah, I've had 3 of them, and I talk about it. Like, it's just silly because obviously.
See, like the best thing about college for me, they gave me like a $3,500 student loan.
Yeah.
Which I had to pay back, but at the time, my classes were only like $1,200, and I was like, dummies.
That's
so
expensive.
I had an extra
$1,200 a class?
No, total.
Oh,
for all
that's
my
cheap.
classes. So I had
Okay.
$2,300 left over. So I bought myself a new computer. I bought myself a new Xbox, some controllers, like microphones, and I used all of that to make my YouTube videos.
There you go. So
and then that was the
good.
first thing I paid back once I got my first few big checks. I paid off my student debt right away.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't realize you quite did that.
Yeah.
Thank you to my father and my mother and my past grandma and grandpa Leeds. They put me through college, and my dad sold pieces of their farm in Iowa to put me and my sister through college.
Like the grandparents were begging, like, "Hey, where are we gonna live if you're selling all this land?" And her dad was like, "Well, I'm putting my daughters through college."
They were
I'm
already
kidding.
passed.
I know.
And my grandparents on my dad's side passed when I was in the first and second
So
grade.
they inherited the farm and basically sold
yes.
pieces of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume that one day you and Tyson will inherit a farm.
Yeah, I think
From
your parents still
Wisconsin.
own some of that farm though too.
They rent it out. They rent out the land. You know, they're business people, so they have passive income coming in.
Me and Tyson one
they
day
write
are
a few Gary
gonna
Vee books.
move back to rural Wisconsin and we're gonna live off the land.
We're going to Wisconsin in like a week, and Tyson's leaving.
When you're
in
seeing
2
this
days.
podcast, we're already in Wisconsin.
We're already
We're in Wisconsin right now.
Welcome.
We're probably at the fair.
People in
a local
Wisconsin
fair.
don't really like me. I don't think I.
They don't
match
like me either. I don't fit their MO. I don't think.
I don't. I don't really fit in there. I went to like the Catholic church with you guys, and I just felt like everyone was like, "What are you
That is
doing?"
a very judgy church over there.
And I'm not making fun of anyone's religion. It was a church though where
It's Roman Catholic, so it's,
it's
very
Roman
classical.
Catholic, so it was a lot of like chanting.
Yeah, chanting,
And
singing.
It did
humming.
scare me a bit because I wasn't used to that. I'd never seen that before, so I
But
was a
if
little.
they ever
like,
need to do a banquet with food, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it well.
yeah, in the basement there was so much food. I was like, where
Oh,
did this
yeah.
food come from?
Oh yeah.
So
they got the food.
Yeah, so Zach grew up confirmed Catholic. I know a lot of people
I got confirmed
wonder.
Catholic.
A lot of people worry.
I could be a priest.
Yeah. A lot of
could
people
go.
wonder about our religion. Zach was confirmed Catholic. I grew up in the Methodist church, so
Yeah. So
I
we would
tried
have been
out a few of
rivals.
them. I was a Seventh Day Adventist for
Me and
5
Tyson
years.
would get our
so.
switchblades. We go to the Lutheran church, stab a few people.
Why can't we
The
all
Catholics
just get
rule.
along? Why can't we all just get along? Anyway, dropped out of my sorority. That I had to make a choice, and now we're here in Catholic church.
Do we have any assumptions left?
Well, the last question was YouTube was not your dream job. So I guess we kind of already heard about what your dream job was.
Well, my dream job was definitely like, I think being able to, it was such a dream though when me and Tyson started YouTube that like it was no one's job.
Right.
So it was like, you didn't know it could be a job. So like if I never knew YouTube existed, it would have been, sports agent or business owner, something like that. And now we're kind of doing that. We own our own businesses.
Yeah.
And I got to be an entertainer, which I thought was awesome. So
Yeah, for me, YouTube was not my dream job. I didn't even realize money was in it until I met Zach, and he had a lot of money, and I was like, where'd you get all this money?
YouTube.
I think I didn't really realize that. So I was really just doing it for fun for a long time, and even when I realized there was money in it, I always thought, hey, that'd be cool, but like I never thought it was realistic, so I never was like, I am going to do this. This is my dream job. But I thought it was a fun hobby to do while I was in school. I went to school for graphic design, as we mentioned. So I really kind of thought I would just end up doing graphic design somewhere in Dallas.
Was that your dream job?
I don't think I had a dream job.
Growing up, you weren't like, I want to be a princess.
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be like a ladybug.
See?
So
And did it work out?
no, when I was in pre-K, they were like, "What do you want to be?" And I put ladybug, and they're like, "You can't be a ladybug." And I was like, I like didn't
I
understand.
could be anything I
that.
want. This is America.
I could be anything I wanted.
You probably could be a ladybug nowadays. I've seen people being dogs.
We won't go there. My friend Brittany wanted to be a blue truck, so we really just weren't on the same page of like what was like obtainable. And then of course when you're a kid, like I wanted to be a model when I was a kid. I think that might have been like my dream job, but that's also an unrealistic thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a model now. Like I just
No.
I think a lot of adults just told me like, oh, you could be a model because I was so thin because I have hyperthyroidism and it's not natural to be this underweight, FYI, just in case anyone's wondering. And like it was just like, oh, you could be a model. You're so tall and thin. So I was like, a model. I like the sound of that.
I would still be an NFL player. If some team came and brought me a contract, I would play.
I remember.
tomorrow.
And then like in the second grade, I wanted to work for EA. That was my dream job, to work for The Sims. So
I saw the movie Grandma's Boy,
that was my
that's
dream job.
when I thought I need to make video games.
It took me a while to get there. I had to go through all my caverns, but I think my real dream job was to work for The Sims and EA. And then I did in turn kind of start working for EA and The Sims as an influencer. And then somebody at EA stabbed me in the heart, twisted the knife, ripped it out, let me bleed to death. And then I was like, oh, I guess I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. We should watch Grandma's Boy tonight. That's a good one.
Okay.
Well, that's party of 2. It's been a party.
I had a lot of fun with this
I
first
did too.
episode. I'm excited to see where it goes. We would love if you guys left topics or ideas down below. We're thinking about like reading some Reddit things. Like we see some people read Reddit things and those are juicy.
Give us suggestions in the comments. This is going to be every Friday, so subscribe to the channel if you're not. And hopefully by episode 3, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss episode 3. You're going to want to tune in.
That's going to be good.
Me and Tyson are going to build it by hand.
Me too. I'm going to be there.
Oh, and Megan's also going to help build it.
I'm going to be there.
But we're carpenters because we're men.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for watching. And we will talk to you guys next time. Do I do hashtag stay peachy, stay kind? Probably not. This is not the Megan Plays channel.
This is a party of 2.
This is a party of 2. Hashtag stay party hardy. Bye.
Bye.